Welcome back to Steve Rob Reviews. Well, we're out in the shop today and I'm working on my snowblower. And yeah, I got to replace the snowblower pull cord. Now, for a lot of you, you're wondering, okay, so everything looks okay. Well, the problem is this cord is way too short. So during the winter, what I had some ice build up on the collar here. And when I went to pull it out, well, it just shredded it for about the first maybe 1.5 feet. And I knew for sure it was going to break. So all I did was I just shortened it and put it on temporarily until I could fix it in the spring. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually work on one of these and replace, the cord yourself. And this is one of these things where a lot of people they think it's like a big hard job, but there's a couple of tips here that I can share with you that will make it so much easier. So let's go over to the bench here and let's see how easy it is to replace one of these pull cords. Okay, so let's get started right here. So the first thing is you just pull the cord all the way out like this. And if yours is already broken, well, guess what? You're going to end up where you can just pull the cord out like this, just unwind it like this and feed the cord through. And then what I do is I just stick a little pocket screwdriver in here and that stops it from returning, right? And then all I do is I just grab this here and cut the end. Now you notice on the end here it's kind of burnt. I use a torch, so I use a small little propane torch, or you can use a match, anything you want, just to burn the end here so it doesn't unravel on its own. And we just cut this like this. Okay, now I can feed this through all the way. So when you have it at this position right here, all you have to do is put the cord in, bring it out, tie a knot on it, and then pull the screwdriver up, and it will self-wind it all the way back to where it was. Now I want to show you one particular spot here. And if we take a look, I'll just show you there. Can you see this notch here? I put that notch in myself. Because sometimes, you're going to want to be able to put the cord in there and wrap it all the way around nice and tight. Now you see how tight it is to the sides here? So what I did is I just got my little bit of a soldering gun and just used a little tip, or you could, just any kind of you can use anything in here just to kind of burn out a little spot where the string could go in there. And it will just, if you want to get it more tension, what you can do is you hide the string. I'll show you here. You put the string inside this spot that you've carved out. And now you can see if you revolve it all the way around here, it's not going to get all cut up on the edges. So you have to put this in yourself if you want, rather than fool around with trying to get the tension just right all the time. And this is an easy thing to do here. So I'll start to feed the line in, and I've got two different types of line. I got this thicker line and I got a thinner line, and I'm going to go back to the thinner line because I found that this line here, it's plenty strong, but it binds up with snow in here, and that was the problem. So I'm going to go back to the thinner line, and I'll bring you back and I'll show you how the line's put in. Okay, so here we are. I've got this end inside the pull cord. I fed it through the hole. Just grab it with the needle nose pliers. Very easy to come out. And all I do is I make a loop like this. I come under here like this, and then back through the top. So it makes a nice solid knot like this. Now you can tell that kind of knot, the more you pull on it, the more it's going to want to tighten down through here. So I'll just trim this just a bit here. And this is the exact same knot that I used in the handle here. And all I do is I turn my torch on and just melt the end here enough. Just like that, so it doesn't unravel on you. And then you can pull it through like this. Now I can take this screwdriver back out. There we go, right there. Now, take for instance, if you wanted to make some more tension on this, well, now you can see where you've got a spot here. You've got a spot right there where you can, I'm just shining a better light on here. You got a spot right here where if you wanted to, you could put the cord in there and wind it around even tighter. But I mean, this seems to be fine, right like that right there. So I'll bring you over to the snowblower and I'll show you a couple of things on the snowblower that I'm going to do different. And I'll show you a modification I've done to the snowblower chute from 5 years ago and how it's held up. Okay, it's hard to really tell there, but I'm going to zoom in. And if you just take a look there, that's on the impeller side. And that is a piece of belting that I put in there 5 years ago. And I'll zoom you back out and I'll show you how they were installed. And they just don't quite touch the outside of the hub here. But I'll just show you exactly how they went on. I get my light on there for you. And all it is was just some conveyor belting. And I just fired in, you take a look there, 3 self-tapping screws and held the belting in there. And all 3 of them, you see that there's a little bit of a gap there because this is not always completely round, this thing. But yeah, that's how it's held up all this time. And you can see the belting on that side over there. And you can see all I did was drive in some self-tapping screws, and they are 5 years old. And all this does, well, I don't really care about throwing snow any further, but all it does is it prevents the snowblower chute from plugging up with snow when it, especially wet snow, and then it won't come out the chute on you. So this resolves that problem there. So let's go to the pull starter and see how easy it is to install that. Okay, so I'm just draining the oil right now anyways. Imagine that oil, I changed it in the fall, and look how dirty it is already. So what I do is, it might be a little hard to tell, but I just use a little bit of, some little paint sticks, just to mark the holes, because when you take a look at the pull cord here, they have so many holes on here for all different models, so I just mark them so they match up in the right position. So all I do is, it's as easy as just, if I could do this with one hand, just placing it on there and matching the holes up, and I'll fire in some screws. Now they had some bolt head or hex head screws on there, but they're so rusted. I mean, I'll just show you here what they look like. Here's one right here. And man, these are finished. Right? So I decided I'll go with some different ones, and I'll show you me installing them and what I used. And this is all I'm using here, is just some ordinary screws, just galvanized screws. And that's it. There we go. Just as simple as that. Now that snowblower is from 1994. Imagine I've had that. Well, I've replaced the the pull cord on it about 5 times now. And it's very easy for me to do because I've done it more than once. But all different snowblowers that I work on, generally they all come off the same. The mechanisms all work the same. The whole idea is pretty much the same. So I mean, you might have different fasteners, or you might have to take off some stuff first before you get to it. But generally, they are quite easy to do. Now, if you take it to a shop, be prepared to get your wallet out. Not just that, but you know, a lot of people, they have to transport the whole machine to the shop to get it replaced. Well, at least now you know you can just take off the front hub there, and if you want, you can take maybe just that in. But you know, for most people, I think you can do this yourself. Save yourself a lot of money. So thanks for joining me here today. Come back again. If you haven't seen this channel before, well, you're welcome to subscribe and see some more easy tips that can save you some money and have some fun along the way. Cheers.